Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, welcome to Geek Syndicate episode 320. Yes, this is Geek Syndicate and we're doing what we always do. What's that, I hear you ask? Bringing the sass back to geekdom. I am Monts, and with me as always is...
What was my line?
What, you mean your cue line? Or like...
Can I get my cue line?
Oh dear Lord.
Nuge.
Makeup.
I'm Nuge. Okay. So yeah, I'm Nuge. Hi everyone. Nuge? Yeah, Nuge. That's me, Nuge. Barry Anthony Nugent. B-A-N. Badass Nuge.
Your name's Anthony too?
Yeah, we've done this. We've got the same middle name.
I literally had forgotten that.
Had you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the same middle name. That's the only thing we've got in common.
We should make a movie called Monts vs. Nuge where we bond over our middle names.
It's not going to last long, is it?
No, not really. It's not like there'll be any fighting. Cause
my middle name's Anthony, so's mine. The end.
It's not Anthony, it's Anthony.
Oh, whatever, man.
All right. So, yeah, welcome back.
Why have you got the Holy Grail?
Because that's how we roll in this house. If I'm going to drink wine.
What, stealing precious artifacts from around the world? That's how you roll in your house?
Yeah. That's how I'm raising my daughters.
I bet if you panned around, you see the Ark of the Covenant with a tea towel over it.
Here we go. Come on.
Geek Syndicate live, another Zoom, bit of nonsense coming at you. You got any shout outs?
Yeah. Shout out to lovely people. Just trying to be positive in the world.
Okay.
If you're lovely, this is for you.
Thanks for that.
That's right. Have you got any shout outs?
I actually don't have any shout outs this week. Mainly because I've just been sat in my house, not really talking to anyone.
You know what? That's pretty much.
So what I've realised is I just don't talk to anyone. I would like to. Actually, no, that's not true. I would like to give a shout out to my cat Steve.
I was just about to give a shout out to Steve.
So what people don't know, because I've not made it public knowledge, is my cat Steve disappeared 3 weeks ago, and which was a bit worrying. And then through varying Facebook groups and stuff, we got him back. And then literally the next day, he just completely deteriorated. We had to rush him to the vets and stuff. And it's been pretty touch and go, where we were basically thinking he's not going to make it really. But we've spoken to the vets today, and he's kind of like, he's pulled a 180. He's done a whole Apollo Creed thing. He's kind of standing up now, and he's eating food, shaking his paw at the cage. And
I can literally hear the theme tune as you speak.
Yeah. So he's doing a lot better now, and we may even be bringing him home tomorrow. So fingers crossed.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So Steve and Trevor like the fourth members of GS. So I thought I'd give him a shout.
I suppose I could give a shout out to my daughter Kira, who's 5, who taught me something this week. She came running into the bedroom naked, and I went, "Why are you naked?" And she went, "Because the zombies don't like that." So I have learned. I've had education. So that's.
Did you tell her? Did you then tell her zombies will eat you same way?
Nah, I didn't have the heart.
Shout out that illusion.
I didn't have the heart.
What you need to be doing with your kids, man, is like running. What you need to be, naked. No, what you need to be doing with your kids is running drills. Like,
no, listen. People keep talking. I don't know if I told you this, but people talk about homeschooling. So last week or the week before, we decided to go on a mission to the shed through the zombie-infested garden, but we didn't know where they were. I taught them how to move in a diamond pattern. So I was at the front, and there was 2 of them at the side, and Alyssa was at the back. She's 2. Everyone had their own zones to keep surveillance, and we had to just keep that. And I was like, stay on my 6. And they learnt what my 6 was, and we got to the shed, and then the zombies attacked. So I taught them how to lay down suppressing fire while doing a tactical advance of the 2x2 pattern. Homeschooling.
Not how to lay down covering fire where you made a tactical retreat.
It's advanced because I was in front. It's not a retreat if you're in front.
I like the logic.
Yeah. Should we get on with it? It's time for the news.
You got any news?
Yeah, I do. So I don't know
sorry. You've actually got news. Shit. Well, colour me interested.
So there is a classic novel from a long time ago, 1932. And you guesses what this novel is? It's a classic American science fiction dystopian drama. By Aldous Huxley.
Oh, Brave New World.
Brave New World. You know, it's
Check
been
me.
Yeah, I see. I get you.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know, it's been made into a TV series.
Yep, starring the dude who played Han Solo.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, you got nothing, man.
But,
give me something new to deal with.
You know who one of the writers is?
No.
And producers?
No.
Our boy Grant Morrison.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's doing all right for himself,
I read an interview with him talking about how he's like trying to make it into a bit of a utopia rather than a dystopia. And I was like, what? And he said, you know, they've changed a lot of the basics of it, but he still thinks it's true to the novel. I was like, I don't know what that sentence means. I don't know what that's... So I'm going to be... I mean, this is a 1932 novel. It's finally being made, and it's been written by one of my comic icons. So I'm really interested. But it's airing on Peacock.
I'm sorry, what?
It's airing on a new streaming service called Peacock. So initially I was looking up Brave New World, but I thought, another streaming service? Are you kidding me? And I found an article called "Do You Have Subscription Fatigue? The head of NBC's new service Peacock thinks he has the answer." And I was like, you've just brought out another streaming service. What could the answer possibly be? Excuse me. So in the interview, he says, the interview says, off the top of my head, there's Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Hulu, CBS, All Access, HBO Max, and Apple TV.
Don't forget Quibi.
Well, those are just the big ones. Tell me why I should sign up for Peacock as well. And I was like, that's a question. That's how you do an interview. So he goes, so they've got 2 levels.
Right.
They've got the premium service that you pay for, and they got the free service, which has got adverts. So you have access to everything, but if you pay, you get no adverts.
Hold on, sorry. So it's free with adverts?
Yeah.
All right.
So either way, Peacock make their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they were meant to launch during lockdown and cover the Olympics and stuff, so that didn't work out well. So,
I think it will. For me, that will depend on how much screen time is going to be given over to adverts. You know what I'm saying? Because like with Spotify, because I'm premium Spotify, because I couldn't deal with the ads. So it literally, I'm just getting into a bit of music, and then something will come on for dry cleaning. It wasn't dry cleaning, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
My thing with this would be, if it's going to come up, say, like, if you're watching ITV, do you know what I mean? You'll get like free advert breaks or something per episode. I can deal with that, or 4. But if it's going to be coming up like every 5-10 minutes, and that's just going to do my head in, which to be honest is probably what they want, because then it drives people to get in the premium.
Well, that's obviously blatantly Spotify's sort of mode of operation, annoy people into getting premium.
Yeah.
To be fair, I couldn't afford premium, so I didn't buy it, and I actually don't listen to Spotify at all because I couldn't take the random nature of their adverts, so it kind of sent me the other way.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't listen to music enough to make it worth paying it, and this is just too annoying. So,
and for me, because I'm the other way, because I listen to music so much, because when I work, I listen to music. When I write, I listen to music. For me, Spotify has been a godsend for that, to sort of set up my playlist and I have a different writing playlist for whatever book I'm working on. So it works for that, but there's no way I could do the ad version of it. It wouldn't work for me.
I just want to say, with Brave New World, I just want to read the premise. It says, the series imagines a utopian society that has achieved peace and stability through the prohibition of monogamy. There's some other stuff as well, but that's the one that caught my attention.
Of course.
You can carry on now.
Yeah. What I wanted to say was, so I've got that Quibi. I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
I don't know what Quibi is. You said Quibi, and I went, yeah, but I was lying. I was bluffing.
So Quibi is, I think it started on Apple, but you can get it on Android as well. And it's a streaming service, like it's a web service. But what the premise of their idea is that people don't have a lot of time. You know, they have little moments of time. So what they do is they put their shows out in, I think, 8-minute episodes.
Are they original shows? Or?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. And there's some big names. Like, they've got one coming out, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Did you say it was a paid service?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've just done... I think when Sue did it, it was... I think she got... I don't know if it's 30 days free or 90 days free. I can't remember. When I did it, it was 14 days, which I'm still on at the moment. And she watched I can't think what she watched, but the one I'm watching on, I think it's basically a bit like The Running Man, the one that I'm watching, as in not necessarily the Arnie film, but the original book. So basically, this guy. He's got I think he's got a brain tumor, and you know, him and his wife are heavily in debt and all the rest of it. And he goes to see, and someone hands him a card at the hospital saying, "Look, you know, this guy helps people that have got, you know, money problems and stuff." So he goes to this guy, and basically what the guy tells him is that he runs this this game with wealthy people where you've got to stay alive, and every hour that you stay alive, they put money into I think it's like 50 grand into your bank account.
But like, how long do you have to stay alive for?
I think it's either 12 or 24 hours. I can't remember. And then I think it maybe after 12 hours it goes up. It like doubles. And I think by the end of it, you earn like a couple of million or something. However, you're being hunted by 5 hunters. And they can be anyone.
I'm not liking the odds, to be honest.
And the thing is, in one of the episodes, when it sort of starts, he's sitting in the room chatting to the guy and he's explaining the rules to him. And he says, yeah, all 5 of the hunters are in this cafe with us. And you can see the guy trying to look around. He goes, you ain't got time to like check faces because it's a busy cafe, you know. Now that's done with this Quibi thing. So like I say, it's 8-minute episodes.
Do you know what? I'm kind of sold.
When I first heard about it, I thought, it just seems a bit of a gimmick, doesn't it? But then when I actually sat and watched it, what I realised what it did, which was really clever, is so many TV shows that you watch have a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. But you watch it, it's a 45-minute episode, and you kind of watch it, and you kind of go, well, to be honest, you could have cut out,
absolutely,
I mean, 15 minutes of that.
Which is why the days of 22-episode series are gone.
Exactly. So I'm not saying I want everything to move that way, but what I quite liked is the story just moved. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It established they got money worries. It established that he's got some sort of brain tumor really quickly. And I think those sort of beats, if it was a normal TV show, would have probably taken a whole hour episode.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 to kind of build up to him doing it. So no, as I said, I watched about half of it so far, and it's pretty decent.
What's it called?
Most Dangerous Game.
That's the network.
Well, yeah, but it's got. If you search for
that, yeah, okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah.
But it's got the guy who is being chased is Liam Hemsworth.
Okay.
Obviously they couldn't afford the other Hemsworth. Do you know what I mean? What's his? So what's his brother doing? He's not doing anything. Is get him then. Do you know?
That's harsh, man.
Harsh, but probably true. Yeah. But they've got what's his name? You from Inglourious Bastards, and D'Angelo, Waltz, Christoph Waltz.
Sorry, I've stopped talking because I've just found it. Christoph gave us the link and I've just seen it, and I can't afford another thing, but I'm so damn interested. Damn interested.
So it's what you can do. I think it's got a
2-week.
Yeah, you could do that whole. You could do the first season in that. It's 15 episodes, 8-minute episodes. Do that in a day, mate.
I'm in. Okay.
I say that I've watched half of it. I've watched like the first sort of 6-7 episodes. My 2-week thing's nearly run out, and I haven't gone back to it. So. I might have to get on that.
It's a great idea, though.
Yeah. So, but it is a great idea, but I'm saying that I'm not gonna. Once my 14 days is done, that's
You're
it.
done.
I can't.
There's just too much.
There's too much. It's too much. So anyway, moving on to my news. First bit of news is Star Wars.
Are you going to talk about an animated? No, that's Star Trek, isn't it?
No, well, no, it's still animated.
Go on.
So this is Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Have you heard this?
Oh yeah! Listen.
Well, why are you playing the maracas, dude? What's that? Yeah.
Crumbs, DM. Because I'm excited. I'm just excited. So when I first watched the last season of Clone Wars, and for those who don't know, there was a unit. There was a unit of clones in it who they called the Bad Batch because they were just like, genetic aberrations, but they were hardcore. I just remember watching that going, I could watch these guys for the whole season. And it's like, if anything was going to deserve, if anything deserved a spin-off, is this.
Yeah.
It's the Bad Batch. I'm all over that.
Well, basically, they just came across like the team from Predator.
Yeah. Yes. They did. Yeah.
Basically, they took the team from Predator, stuck them in Star Wars, and now they're doing their own TV show. In fact, one of the guys looked a bit like Rambo because he didn't have like a sort of bandana and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all over this. So this is being. So I'm looking at the blurb. So the series follows the elite and experimental clones of the Bad Batch as they find their way in a rapidly changing galaxy in the immediate aftermath of the Clone War.
Oh, because I thought they might go back and look at some of their missions and whatever else, but actually it's in continuity of the series, of Clone Wars series.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see how that goes, because obviously all the 66 will have kicked off and will probably be done and dusted. So
maybe their 66 order isn't working because they're a Bad Batch.
Yeah. But this is being done by Dave Filoni again.
Nice. I trust him.
Yeah, he did a wicked. I have to put a link in the show notes. He did I think he did some roundtable discussions for the Mandalorian, like behind the scenes stuff. But I saw one of them where he was talking about the prequels. The way he talks about the prequels, I would dare anyone to not listen to him and then go and watch the prequels, because the way he talks about it, he just puts it in a different light.
It kind of needs someone to do that.
Yeah. But he the way he dissects the Duel of the Fates lightsaber fight and the reason behind it, and actually that's a lot.
Oh, I saw that clip. I saw a clip of him talking about that fight, and I was like, wow.
And the stakes are a lot bigger than people actually think. And when you actually listen to what he's saying, you go, yeah, you know your stuff, dude, man. I'm telling you that they need to give him the next trilogy or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that would work.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what? It just seems to be a recurring pattern that the people who, and we kind of see this with DC, the people in charge of the animation have got the stuff down.
Yeah, DC's nailing it with animation.
And they need to be learning from, and the live action people need to be learning from the animation people. It just seems to be seeing that again and again and again.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on?
I've got another bit of news.
Do another bit of news?
I've got one more bit of news. The reason I want to say this, we have rambled on a little bit, is because I think you'll be interested in this one. This is the DC are doing a Rorschach miniseries.
That was my next bit of news.
Okay, all right, then why don't you do it?
Yes, DC are doing a Rorschach comic series.
No.
Yeah, I thought that would surprise you.
I am surprised.
So, for those who don't know... So Rorschach is a fantastic character from Alan Moore's Watchmen back in the 80s. It was a great character. I mean, it's a horrible character, but a great character.
Yeah.
Actually based on the Blue Beetle from DC Comics, previously Charlton Comics.
Ooh, I thought you
No, sorry, the question. What am I talking about? It was Night Owl that was based on the Blue Beetle.
Okay.
I'm thinking about both of them, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So you had... the Watchmen movie. It was based on the comics, which I enjoyed immensely. A few quibbles, but what doesn't have quibbles. And then DC decided to make a kind of Watchmen comic series, which was a bit of a... It felt very disrespectful to Alan Moore, but that's a whole conversation in itself, so we can leave that one. Then we had a TV show, which I was like, I'm not going to watch this TV show because I don't think we need it. I don't think it's necessary. I watched the first episode. I haven't gone back to it yet, mainly because lockdown makes it really hard to watch stuff like that on my own. But I thought the first episode was amazing and shocking and all the rest of it, so I'm interested. And now they're bringing a Rorschach comic. Number one, I don't like it because, again, the guy who created this, I just feel it's quite disrespectful. I also think Rorschach had a complete arc which was contained within Watchmen, and I think that character we need to leave it there. That character needs to exist. What happened to him needs to exist right there and then. Having said that, it might be amazing. It's been written by Tom King, who we know is a fantastic writer. It's set 35 years after Watchmen. And there's been a murder there's been an assassination attempt on the president, and there's a detective who's basically strolling back through time to try and figure it. And they've caught the would-be assassins, and one of them is dressed like Rorschach, so they're kind of going back through time to figure out all the connections and whatever, and it's meant to be a very angry political book. So it's Tom King, so it's probably going to be awesome, but I'd still have very mixed feelings about it.
And I'm probably not as invested in it as you are. I say that. My thing was, I was all set to dismiss it. I was all set to go, I'm not interested. Because I'm just kind of like, it's just, there's a dead horse, I'm going to flog it. Do you know what I mean? You want to buy a dead horse, mate? I've got one over here. But I don't know why I went all cockney there. Apologies.
That's what happens, isn't it?
That's what happens, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you've got to get a bit leery, a bit woy. But the fact that it's done by Tom King, who, as I said, I really enjoyed Mr. Miracle. I loved. He did Division as well, didn't he? Yeah, I loved. Yeah, just that alone.
I'm not buying things physically at the moment, but as soon as I get some cash in my hands, those are two things that I want physically on my shelf.
And he kind of has, and to be honest, in some ways, it's a slight departure because he has a bit of a thing about taking characters that you wouldn't normally throw a lot. I'm not saying I'm not dissing Division or whatever, but you wouldn't normally kind of hammer a complete series around. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't be your first choice, I suppose, is what I mean. He tends to not necessarily pick first choices. So I'm interested to see how he does this. I think for that reason alone, I'm interested to check it out. And there was some preview artwork as well, and I quite like the look of the art.
Oh, no, I thought the art looked fantastic.
But
the art, who's it by? Keep going, I'll tell you who the art's by in a minute.
I'm going to let you find out because I can't pronounce his name.
Jorge Fornes.
There we go. But I think probably what I'll do is I'll probably wait for the trade. I don't know if I'm going to be picking because it's 12 issues, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll wait for the trade, to be honest. Let all the fuss die down as well, because there'll be a lot of fuss around it when it comes out.
There'll be a lot of fuss.
A lot of unnecessary bother.
A lot of unnecessary bother.
Yeah.
It's a lot less bother with a hover.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the news.
That was the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the week that was.
What a shit show, man. It's amazing what a camera what difference a camera makes, isn't it?
Is it that different? Or is it just people can see that they're genuine mistakes rather than like putting it on?
Yeah, is it the fact that we can't paper over the cracks by doing a lot of like editing after the fact to make it? And the thing is, even with editing, shit ain't that smooth.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I've lost all will to live, man. I'm surprised people are still with us.
It's been a long week, man.
It's been a long 16 years doing this, man.
Wow.
Right.
Can I just say, so this is, I just want to jump in there, with the week that was, because this isn't a big one.
Okay.
I've recently got back on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm on season 5, which is the outer space season.
Yep.
And I've just got to say, I was watching it going, I am happy watching this show. I mean, shit gets dark, but I'm happy watching this show. And I went, there has never been a moment of this show's history that I haven't enjoyed.
I know.
People jumped off in the first season. People that I'm like, I don't understand. Because basically Siobhan and I watch it together, and we're watching it and we just looked at each other and went, why did we wait so long to get back into it? What a shame we can't stay up all night and just finish this season, because just want to know what happened. I love it. I love it. That's all.
Mate, so I'm on, so they're currently, they're on the last ever season at the moment.
Is that 7?
7, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I won't say, I won't say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it or anything. All I'll say is the most recent episode, I was in tears. I was just laughing all the way through the episode, and I can't even say what. All I'll say is it's a homage to 80s shows. That's all I can say. That is all I can say.
Okay, I'm looking. I've got like 2 years to get there.
And literally, it was one of them ones. I finished watching the episode, and I was just looking for someone to talk. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I was, and you know the Predator handshake at the start of Predator?
Yeah.
That's
oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't say anything else.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I'm excited.
Best handshake I've seen.
I'm halfway through season 5. How am I gonna get? Okay. I can deal with it.
Okay, yeah. So Agents of Shield, yep, money. So I want to start quickly with a film that Sue and I watched on Saturday. We were just looking for something, I don't know, just a bit of nonsense to watch. Didn't want anything too seriously. And I just saw this image and I thought, let's give this a go. And basically it's a bride, and she's got like an ammunition belt. She's in a full wedding dress and she's got an ammunition belt around her, and she's holding a shotgun.
That's really preparing for marriage.
Yeah, she's holding a shotgun. And the film's called Ready or Not. I'll read you the blurb, and I feel if I read you the blurb, you'll be on. So Grace couldn't be happier. Apologies for the name. Grace couldn't be happier after she marries the man of her dreams at his family's luxurious estate. There's just one catch. She must now hide from midnight until dawn while her new in-laws hunt her down with guns, crossbows, and other weapons. As Grace desperately tries to survive the night, she soon finds a way to turn the tables on her not-so-lovable relatives. Right?
The hell kind of honeymoon is that?
That's the wedding night, mate. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Is it like a white version of Get Out?
Pretty much.
It's like, no, I see.
So anyway,
I'm all over that. I don't think we're going to want to watch that, but I'm all over that.
I don't know if I just loved it. It was just fun. Didn't take itself seriously. Actually, really good music. The music's I think it's done by Brian Tyler, who did the Guardians of the Galaxy score. So the music's actually really good. It's got a bit of a John Carpenter vibe as well. Just don't really care. When she starts to kind of turn like, I'm not having this. It's just quality. It's quality.
Okay, all right. I'm all over that. I don't know when I'm going to get the chance to watch it, but I'm all over that.
Also, 90 minutes, mate.
Oh, see? Oh, all right. Okay.
90 minutes.
Okay.
90 minutes. Doable.
Talking about music, I'm not going to rehash anything. But,
sorry.
Because I've just been playing this practically non-stop for the last 2 weeks. I'm just going to do this, and I know it'll bring you in. Would you take a bullet? What am I talking about? The gun? Bulletproof.
Yeah, Bulletproof.
I don't know. All I need to do is say, if you haven't watched Bulletproof, watch it. That's all I have to say. You're a fool to yourself.
I binged the last 5 episodes last weekend. I just literally
tell me that wasn't what the doctor ordered.
Right. The thing is, right, what I realised was, so I started off like this. So this is how I was sitting, and by the end of it, I was kind of like this.
It's a high octane ride.
I was chilling, and Sue just kept walking through, going, "You enjoying it?" Because every so often, all she could hear was like, "Boo, boo, boo." And so just walking in, going like, what's going on? I was like, I'm all right. It's okay. It's just things kicking off now. I'm just,
the thing is,
love.
You could just tell the writers grew up at the same time as we did.
Yeah,
that's what I was like. Yeah,
it's literally if me and you joined the police force, and they put guns in our hands, that's the show you would get.
Yep. And that would be a mistake.
It would be a mistake.
Yep.
To be fair, there'd probably be more running away involved than actually running to danger. More running the opposite direction, but you know what I mean. More bullet sponge than bulletproof.
But also, I suddenly realised that it was a Bad Boys homage.
Yeah. How did you not realise that?
No, I knew it was. I mean, the title. Because in Bad Boys, they call him Bulletproof Mike Leary. And because I was thinking, why is this called Bulletproof? And I went, Bad Boys, Bulletproof Mike Leary. Ah, nice. All right, TV or film? Tell me, which one should I go? Which direction should I go down?
Go TV, because I've got a film that we need to talk about. But...
So I'm going to do one thing really quickly, and then the other thing is also going to be quite quick. So I just want to give you an update on Stargirl.
Oh, you're still watching that?
I'm still watching that. So I started watching Stargirl, and I'm going to be honest, I loved it.
Okay.
All over it. Me and I think it shows on a Sunday night or Monday night. I don't know, but every Monday, that's like Siobhan and I like Stargirl night. Yeah, loving it.
Oh no.
You know what you said about the good thing about an 8-minute TV show is that there's no time for the nonsense.
Yeah.
So much nonsense now, man. It's just repeat. Because what it is, you got Stargirl, who's a teenager, and she's just annoying because the grown-ups going like, we've got to think this through, we've got a plan. That's the Injustice Society. You can't just walk in there and take them on because they managed to kill the whole Justice Society. Yeah, so you can't just. Yeah, but we've got to do something. I'm off. Gets her ass kicked. Yeah. Next episode. Yeah, we can't just sit here. Does it again. Next episode. Does it again. And I'm like, I know that's not PC, but come on. Someone needs a good shaking. Because I'm like, because for 4 episodes now, I've watched you repeat the same mistake again and again and again and pretend to learn something and learn nothing. Oh, because you've taught teenagers, right? With a question mark. Yeah, I have taught teenagers. Yeah, you're right, Amy. Apparently shaking them doesn't do that. Actually, well, there was that one time. Actually, I better stop now.
Yeah. Worked pretty well for my folks, but that's a different story.
I didn't know, did it?
Well, I didn't really.
And Amy says, that is accurate. They learn nothing. And I suppose there is a way in which then this TV show is accurate, because they learn nothing.
Which is why I'm not going to watch it.
The problem is, they're just learning nothing repeatedly, and it's a TV show, and I need things to start happening now.
Yeah.
What I'm in though. I'm in now, so I'm going to keep going. I think Siobhan might be out soon. But what I'm hoping is that in 6 weeks' time, I'll be sitting here going, you know what? That was a mid-season dip, and it turned out great. It turned out like it started. So we'll see. I just wanted to keep you updated. I needed to share my pain.
I'll see you in 12 years for that Smallville conversation, man. I feel that I've learned. It's taken me to hit 50. I feel that I've learned something because I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going near it. I haven't watched a single episode.
My problem is I've got a bit of a thing for those golden age DC.
And now, yeah.
And while they're not in it, it's their kind of legacy characters taking it on.
Yeah,
it's kind of hooked me in.
Look, my problem is when they did.
And also, okay, so I know some people here are going to have a reaction to this. We're starting to get into Seven Soldiers of Victory area in Stargirl, and I'm like, we're talking Sir Justin, the whatever knight was, the Shining Knight. Vigilante.
Yeah, but is he going to be like is he actually going to be that guy, or is he going to be like the kiddie version though?
No, he's the guy, because I'm just going to tell you now, there's a janitor in the school and he's not quite right. And I started to think, because he had this cap with a Pegasus on it and a Shining Knight called Sad at Pegasus.
Oh, okay.
And his name badge said Justin, and I was like, Sir Justin, wait. And he talked really archaically.
Right.
But he was obviously not quite right. And then you went into his storeroom, and there's this kick-ass broadsword. Yeah. And I'm like...
See? I'm going to have to flipping watch some of it now.
And you wait. I'll tell you. You'll find out. You can go back and see it.
Well, I'll just go and watch clips, man. Yeah, I'll just hit YouTube. Do you know what I mean?
So there's that.
My problem. One of my problems with it as well was that when they did the Justice Society in Legends of Tomorrow, and say what you want about that show, I actually thought the Justice Society looked pretty badass in it.
Well, do you know what? I thought they were pretty good in Smallville.
Yeah, actually. Especially like Dr. Midnight in Legends of Tomorrow. So when I saw like the trailer for Stargirl, it's like, yeah, all the cool characters that you really like, they're all dead. But we've got all these kids though in their cult. We've got all these kids in their costumes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm out.
No, I get that. To be fair, the girl who's now Dr. Midnight hasn't put the costume on once. It's all about the goggles. And
right,
like,
but I've seen her in the costume, and it looks like.
To be fair, she's the costume or no costume. She's the weakest link. Because she ain't got no skills except like she gets on with the AI that's in the goggles. That's her skill.
Right.
She's good at research. Like, you know, every team needs someone like that. But what are you going to do in the field? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm hoping that we'll see. I have hope.
Hey, that's good, man. That's good. I have a remote and I'm using it.
All right. So the other TV show I'm going to mention briefly, that was meant to be much more briefly than it was, is Space Force.
Oh, is this the Steve Carell thing?
Yeah, I've watched the whole season.
Right.
And I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, okay.
It's a very it's funny. It's a very human thing. It's about family, and it's about what you do in strange circumstances, and it makes the American military look really pathetic.
No.
And I got to the end of it. I went, I wasn't expecting to, but I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I'm actually looking forward to season 2.
Okay. Maybe when I got time, I might swing back round to it. I think when I watched the first episode, I think I was expecting something different.
Mm.
So I didn't necessarily like out and out not like it, but it didn't match up to what I was expecting. And I just kind of felt like, well, then in that case, I've got so many other things that I could be watching that when I go to watch something new, it's got to be like hitting my A game straight away. Because we started to watch that. To give you an example, we watched that Warrior Nun. We watched the first episode of Warrior Nun.
Watch the trailer.
You watched the trailer, yeah. So we watched the first episode. We got to the end of that first episode, and Sue just looked at me. She said, "I'm out," because Sue don't play. You think I'm hardcore? Sue's like.
Siobhan was actually quite interested by the trailer,
but I watched it, and I thought by the trailer I was expecting to be more entertained than I was, but I decided to stick with it because I like the premise and stuff. And I'm about halfway through the second episode, and there is a lot of me going,
okay,
something needs to happen.
Yeah, see, I quite like the trailer, but I'm still watching The Protector, which is a Turkish one, and I'm still on season 1, and it turns out they're on season 4, so I'm just going to finish that instead.
Fair dues.
Yeah.
Also, as well, I wish they'd. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to go down that road.
Well, you got to, because I've got movies.
So, look, before we get into movies, I've got to say one high spot. I just realised we're near at 10 o'clock, so
I know.
Can't talk too much. But I've got to talk about this, man. So, I was on a bit of a downer, and I was just like, I just need something just to lift me a bit, you know? And a while ago, probably about a year ago, I bought the Spider-Man game on the PS4. But I hadn't played it. I installed it and everything, and I had Is
this a Peter Parker Spider-Man or a Miles Morales Spider-Man or what? Because I don't know.
Let's say Peter Parker. I don't. Miles is in it.
That's an interesting response.
Miles is in it, but I haven't finished the game yet, and Miles has just come into it. But I think I put it on when I first got it, and I couldn't really figure out the controls, and I was a bit in that I can't be arsed, and kind of left it for a year, and then I put it on last week, mate. I tell you, probably since this whole pandemic nonsense has kicked off, I don't think I've ever had such a smile on my face.
Seriously,
because you're Spider-Man. I can't. That's my review. You're Spider-Man.
I saw you talking about it on WhatsApp to some people in a group that we're on, and just to respond, I was like, I wish I hadn't had sex so that there'd be no children to get in the way of me checking out the game. That's how much the conversation about this game made me feel motivated to like check it out. It's not going to happen, but I was like, wow, this just sounds awesome.
It made me glad that I'd had sex with protection. Therefore, I had money to afford to buy these games. And here ends Brian Nugent's Life Choices, episode 1.
And here ends the lesson that we should all heed.
But no, it
literally learned what contraception was about a year ago.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. You actually made me cry. Let's move on because I find it uncomfortable. Yeah. See that. The Old Guard, because you've seen that, haven't you?
That's what I was going to. Can I just say, I watched The Old Guard with Siobhan this week. I watched it on the back of watching Ocean's 8. Have you seen Ocean's 8?
Is that the one with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
The all-female one?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was all right.
Okay, so Old Guard.
Hey, look, we're not going to agree on anything. I still think...
Okay, me and Siobhan, especially Siobhan, love our heist movie.
Yeah.
And having watched, and Siobhan loves the Ocean series, and she went, no, it was all right, but it just didn't feel like there was any tension, didn't feel like it was going to go wrong, felt too smooth, didn't feel like there was any threat. And I woke up next morning and realised I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, I'm not saying, when I say I enjoyed it. It wasn't like, but once I'd finished watching it, it didn't like stick with me. But to be honest, I really liked the first Oceans.
I found my attention wandering.
Yeah. I really liked the first Oceans film. I couldn't tell you what happened in the rest of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
All right, well,
But anyway,
let's not spend time on that, because this is a movie which I cannot get out of my head. Since I watched it, it's not a day hasn't gone by where I've gone, oh, Siobhan, blah, 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 to talk about it. Because Old Guard, which is based on a comic by Greg Rucka, starring Charlize Theron. I'm saying that, but I think she shares the narrative with, I blanked on her name. Anyway, I love this movie.
So for people in the cheap seats, what's the premise? I can sum up, but you do the premise, and I can then do what I believe it is.
The premise is that every now and again, someone discovers they can't die, and they become immortal, and when another immortal emerges in the world, they dream of each other till they find each other, and it's a group of essentially mercenaries that have been fighting for hundreds of years, thousands in some cases, and Charlize Theron is the leader of this group because she's the oldest, and there's a new one. This is kind of where the film comes in. There's a new one born for the first time in like over 200 years, and hilarity ensues, except it's not hilarious.
No. Or what if the A-Team were immortal? Boom!
Yes. You win. You win at life this week with that simple sentence.
I literally sat at the end when I got to the end of that film, and I literally just thought, so basically they're the A-Team, but they can't die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're all okay with flying.
Yeah. and drinking milk.
Yeah. No, I loved this film. I can't So I went and read the comic at the weekend. Did you? Did you?
I read the comic at the weekend. I was saving the comic to read after I watched the film. So
I intended to read the comic first.
Okay.
What's your?
So first off, I loved the film. I thought there was some real kick-ass action in it. Also, as well, what I realized was how much I think it got overplayed with like the series and trying to keep going back to that. But it reminded me how much I loved the first Highlander movie. And how much I love the concept of being immortal and the downsides of being immortal. And it felt to me like I was watching a group of characters that existed in Highlander's world, and that's the choices that they made. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, these were all Highlanders, these were all immortals that joined up and said, look, fuck the game, let's just all join forces and just be mercenaries and never laugh. You know? And it felt like the same kind of setup. And I really liked the whole basically showing you that immortality isn't what it's cracked up to be. And I don't want to give any spoilers away, do you know what I mean? But the idea of Charlene's character, that she's just tired. She's just tired. She lived too long. Do you know
what got me? It's not really a spoiler. It's the bit, because it's to be expected. It's the bit where she says, I can't remember what my mother looks like or my sisters. Just can't remember. And you know, at that point, for me, that's the point where it dropped and you go, wow, time, having that much time is horrific.
Yeah. Yeah. And so loved the film. Then I went and read the comic. And what I found interesting, and this isn't a diss on the comic, although I will say some things, but I enjoyed reading the comic, but didn't necessarily enjoy it that much because it was probably one of the closest adaptations I've ever read.
Anyone that says, so here's my thing. People go, well, it has to be different. And I'm like, yes, the adaptations, they do have to be different. Turns out they don't actually have to be that different. So I read the first issue of the comic and I
couldn't believe it.
It is word for word the same.
Yeah.
Panel for panel, word for word the same. And it doesn't take away from it. People go, oh, it will take away from it if it's not. Nah, I loved it. It's what I imagined come to life. And I'm good with that. I don't need it to be that different. As it went on, there were differences, and I think the differences were quite good.
I thought, and I don't want to give we're not going to give anything away. Personally, I don't want to get shot down by fans of the comic, but personally, I felt, actually, no, it's not being shot down because actually the screenplay is done by Greg Rucka, so his hand was all over it.
Basically, he's looked at the comic and gone, I think this needs to change for the movie, and I think he made great choices.
I think the narrative choices that he made for the film, I think all of them worked. Didn't have any problem with it. I couldn't. There's a speech that one of the characters gives in the middle of the film, which is basically a love letter to his immortal lover, and it's a beautiful speech. And I remember Sue going, "Oh, that was beautiful." And then when I was reading the comic, I'm thinking, but they must have added that bit a little bit. And like,
they didn't change a word.
No, but also, what's so good about both the comic and the film? It encapsulates what we've been saying for years about diversity, about stealth diversity.
Okay.
In that, let me finish. In that, when I watched the film, I literally sat there and thought, okay, I'm guessing when I go to the comic, those characters won't be gay, she won't be black, blah, blah, blah. Then I opened the comic, I was like, nope, it's exactly the same in the comic. So they haven't had to make those.
Except, in terms of leading the narrative, so this is what I love, because we've always said that if you want to see diversity in action, you have to ask yourself who's leading the narrative. So in my mind, you had a white woman and a black woman leading the narrative. So you may be tempted to think it's about the Charlize Theron character, but I think it's as much about the young black female character as it is about hers. And anyone that says different is treading an old paradigm. The comic, and also gay lovers. the comic maintained that for the main characters, but I was quite shocked to see how little diversity there was outside of that. So in the movie, the Doctor was female.
Yeah.
In the comic, the Doctor was a white male.
Yeah.
And there was a few others. What I realised was, in terms of black people, apart from the main character, there was no other black people apart from one soldier in the background who got shot.
I suppose where I'm coming from is I'm more used to when people tell me, "Oh yeah, but that's really diverse." It's actually the diversity is peppered around the edges.
Yes. But it was front and centre,
as opposed to it being front and centre. These are the people that are driving that narrative, and we're going to give them the time to do that. Do you know what I mean?
I came out the movie and I literally felt like saluting and going, that's how you do diversity, except I've stopped calling it diversity and calling it reflection, because you're just reflecting the world as it is.
Yeah.
They did reflection really well.
Yeah.
So I did have my issues with the comic. Having said that, I loved the comic.
Yeah.
And I loved the film perhaps a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a volume 2 of the but I think I probably still would have done even if I'd read the comic first. But there's a volume 2 of
Force Multiplied.
Yeah. Because apparently he envisioned it as a trilogy.
Oh, it's interesting because the way they've set up a sequel in the movie, they didn't do in the comic.
But I'm wondering if that is done in the second book.
Yeah.
Well, and they've pulled.
So here's the question. Are you going to read the second book before seeing the film? Because to be fair, the film's going to be a couple of years wait. So,
well, you just don't know. You don't know if it's going to get greenlit. You don't know if they're going to get the cast and all that. And the comic's right there. For me, I've now got my fix. Do you know what I mean? I'm in it. I'm in that world now. And you're telling me there's more of that world that I can get now. I'm all over that.
Just looking around online, the reception to Old Guard has been phenomenal. I haven't seen a single bad word about it so far. So I'm really positive about a second film coming, because it was just...
Yeah.
It was just... I just thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing. And also, there's a pub at the end that they're all drinking in. I've been in that pub. Prospect of Whitby, for anyone who knows their London pubs, one of the oldest pubs in London.
Probably why they chose it, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, everybody. Special thanks to John, Christoph, Amy and Phil, who sat in and watched and made exasperated faces at us. Yeah. So you know what to do. Let us know if you've seen or read or watched the things that we have, and let us know if you agree with what we think. You can get in touch with us at thegeeks@geeksyndicate.co.uk. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and don't forget to check out the website and all the other podcasts under our network at geeksyndicate.co.uk. So until next time.
Also, it's like if you want to contribute to the upkeep of the show, make my life easier, you can do so by buying us a virtual coffee via Ko-fi, the virtual Ko-fi thing.
Yeah, do it.
Or via Patreon as well. Links will be in the appropriate show notes.
And if we get over $300 a month, we promise to... we promise that Barry will do a show naked.
You make it $3,000.
There you go, people. $3,000 and Barry will do the show naked.
$3,000 a month for the next 10 years. And then in 10 years' time, I'll think about doing it naked.
Why you got to make it so complicated?
Because I don't want to do it naked.
It's just...
No one wants to see that.
I disagree. I don't. But that doesn't mean there are people out there that don't want that. Sad. Always a sense of adventure. Anyway, donate, because it does help us keep it going. So until next time, Geek Syndicate.
We out.